Exit made this.
I was down bad. Mommy told me that
And I think that's the power of having a local board. That's why it makes sense.
Mr. Hopkins, do we know anything about what our liability would be if we started when the governor had said not to until the 28th? Have we spoken with insurers or anything?
We have not, and again, that's still several weeks away. I have not reached out to our insurance company at that point in time.
I know that had been a concern that we had talked about in the past, was if we had any sort of indemnification against suit, especially, I think, with our staff, if we did start back in opposition of the governor's recommendation, I would want to know what our liability was.
And I'll certainly follow up on that. You know, and I do think there is a very distinct difference between school districts and talking with the superintendent and the board chair in many cases. But that's all I know.
Do you think it would be prudent to reach out to Commissioner Brown and tell him that you're advising the board to reevaluate on September 8th and possibly go back on September 14th? Do you think it would be prudent to give him a heads up on that?
I don't mind the call.
Okay.
Commissioner Brown?
Yeah, Graham's here. I don't know what he knows about the liability question. I think he's told us before that
Is the middle school has a proposal to utilize the therapy dog, and I know Ms. Sayer is here. She has been working with Garrett, and she's the owner, and will be the person responsible for that therapy dog. We are following the same process that we did with Southside Woodford this last year. So she wanted to, in case you had any questions, but she's been working very closely with Garrett through this, and again, following the same process that we did in Southside.
all the time. A lot of times the numbers are wrong, the numbers are transposed. We've had those. And then you just complete them or correct them and send again. He understands totally that we got this information from the attorney, but that's not good enough for them. So that's what happened. So it is really not an unusual thing.
That's where those conversations are so helpful with the staff, is to say, okay, I see that we had this percentage here. Is there something we could do differently that would move that? And that's much better in person.
And how does that work, given that these are all done anonymously, right? So then you just have a staff meeting and address it.
Do it in small groups. That's what we did. We put different principals in a group and had them go through and try to analyze. And some of you've got to ask questions. You've got to say, what would it take for us to move this from here to here? What needs to be different? And then really to try to target, because it's a pretty lengthy survey. There's 8 different categories. You can't address it all. So what are the top 2 or 3 things that would be most beneficial for our school that would have the greatest impact?
It's presented. I understand that you don't understand, you think it's the way this was, the metrics on it were different. We haven't really waited to figure out a plan to address it before we've had it presented to the board. But are you saying you want to have all these meetings and then bring the data to us with what
Increase, decrease, revenues, whatever. She always did a nice job about the distilled spirits, 600,000, which is 200 less or whatever. And I was just curious, will you be preparing that for us for next meeting?
I can actually share with you some loss of about 300 seats, so that would generate about $480,000 of new revenue.
for the general fund?
For the general fund. If we get a 4% reduction, as what we had budgeted, we would probably see an increase of somewhere between 100 and 150,000.
After that's taken off.
I did that because for a period of time, many of the distilleries were